Hi everybody, it's Alexis, the Avon rep, and I am here today bringing you an Alexis original. I wanted to do a video on book tossing. I've tried to do the video numerous times and learned a lot about trying to upload a video to YouTube and what doesn't work. So hopefully this one will work, and it's a little bit better than a talking mascara. Anyway, I've had a couple of people on my downline let me try to fix that a little bit. There we go. I have people on my downline who have said to me, oh yeah, I got rid of those books. I don't have them anymore. They expired. And I'm like, don't tell me you threw away money. Because, we pay for our books. So why throw them away when there's so much more we can do with them? And, we can use them for other reasons. So, when I've explained book tossing to my downline, they don't quite understand, or I've given them some materials and said, here, blah, 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 they were in a rush. So this is my video to kind of help out anybody on my downline who wants to attempt book tossing or give it a try. And also I've had some people ask me on Facebook about what worked for me, or when did I do it, or how did I do it, what part of the driveway did I put it in, how did I make my bags up, and so I'm going to kind of try to answer everything that I can. In full disclosure, I did watch Molly Stone Bibb's awesome video on Book Tossing 101, so I strongly suggest that you watch that. I by no means am an expert. This is only just what worked for me and what I found to be my best hints and tips that I'm using for myself. I had 1,500 books to toss, and I just yesterday acquired 600 more from a fellow Avon rep, and had to wait until my husband fell asleep last night for me to sneak them out of my car and hide them in the garage, because the last thing he wants to see with I still have over 1,000 books in the kitchen. I don't think he wanted to see 600 more. Shh, don't tell him. But I couldn't. The thought of somebody like getting rid of their books, or just handing out free books, to me that was like free money. Yay! So I acquired them. So the first thing I wanted to do was talk about a couple of things. First of all, what is book tossing? Book tossing is a great way when you have no time and extra books, and especially when they expired, it's a great way to get them out there and to kind of do it in a jiffy. Now, I take my books that I'm tossing and I toss them like a frisbee right out my window. I do not have anybody sitting in the passenger seat. If anything, I have 2 small kids in the back seat. I open the passenger side window and I toss them like a frisbee, and I get a momentum going and I toss them. Yes, sometimes I hit the bushes, but I just keep going, and just the point is to kind of move it fast. And if I had to stop and pick up the ones and fix them, I just don't do that. I just keep going, and if it hit a bush, and I hope that somebody still sees it. If not, I'm sorry, but that's what I try to do. Now, I can't stress enough something though, that I stress all the time to my downline, and I'm stressing again. Nothing beats a one-on-one conversation with somebody who is a potential customer. That is always the best thing to do. People like to put a face behind the name. When people speak to you, when you're polite to them, when you hand them a sample, when they see, wow, she was so nice, she was so helpful, she was willing to help me, she heard what my needs were, and that helps drive in a customer. So if you have the time and you can, always try to do a one-on-one with a customer. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. When I'm tossing books, and if somebody is standing in their driveway, I do not toss and plop a book at their feet when they're standing there. To me, I just think geez, ouch, that's a little cold. That's just me, just my opinion. It might work for other people, so I'm by no means judging or knocking it. But if I see somebody standing in their driveway, and it's a long driveway, I will pull my car over, get out of my car, and walk towards them, but maybe just step a little bit on their property and say, hi, my name is Alexis, I'm your local Avon rep. I was just driving around the neighborhood and trying to get out some brochures. Are you interested in a brochure? And usually they'll say yes, and I give them a current brochure because they suggested they were interested. If it's not a long driveway and it's a short one, then I will, talk to them through my window and not really get out of my car and just, say the same thing. And usually they walk towards my car. 99% of the time they say, oh yes, I haven't seen Avon in years and I didn't know that's still there. That whole routine. And I give them a current brochure in hopes, because they were interested. And I always, when somebody, whether they're walking their dog or whatever, I always pull over and say hi. Now, another thing that I do is I love to get my kids involved because they love helping mommy and they love getting involved in Avon. And there's so many things that they can't do. Book tossing is something that they can do. You got to have a little bit of patience, but it's worth it to help get the kids involved and make them happy. Now, at Christmas time, for example, to help break the ice, when you drive in people's neighborhoods, you got people looking out the window, staring at you, and then you feel uncomfortable. People are watching you. And so, you kind of drive in and try to sneak in and toss those books and drive right out because everybody's staring at you and, that kind of thing. I know that. I get that. I've been there. What I do to break the ice is I want myself to be seen. I make myself be seen. At Christmas time, we had Christmas hats, we had candy canes. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. When the kids were playing in the road, gave them a candy cane, waved at people, Merry Christmas, shouting out Happy New Year. And then people waved back, people smiled back, and the kids would take the books, bring them to the mothers, and the mothers would look and see Avon book and go, oh, and, wave back. And so it broke the ice. It brought the attention as to this is why I'm here. I'm not here to cause any trouble, just hand out an Avon book. And people were really receptive to it. So now it's Valentine's Day. So I already have my Valentine's Day chocolates, that are individually wrapped and the little sweethearts. And so that I have stuff to hand out as I'm about to do another book toss now that our big snowstorm melted here in Georgia. Which that's another thing. I know people mention about weather issues. Now, clearly, I am not from Georgia. I am from New York. I am a New Yorker. I was a little bit more north in the city, so I don't have a strong accent. But I understand weather elements and all that. And my family's from Plainview and Long Island, so I was born in Long Island. So I'm very used to the weather. In my opinion, again, this is just all my opinion, and there's no wrong or right way to toss. So anything that I say is just an opinion. You tweak and do things that works best for you. If it's snowing, I wouldn't put a book out because it's going to get dirty, messy, wet, melty, and no good. But what you can do in the meantime is if they have newspaper boxes next to their mailbox, you can put a book in there. Or you can hang a book on their mailbox. Now remember, never put a book inside the mailbox. It's government property. She's ready. The mailbox is government property. You can hang it on the mailbox. In fact, I got my first book on the mailbox and made the phone call as I was walking in. That's how I actually got recruited. Now, I've been with Avon before, but that's where I found my book, so it works. Here's your bag. See, I get the kids involved. Here's your bag. So that's kind of, just the thought of how you can get your books out and kind of do a toss when it's raining. So, excuse me. Okay, sorry. I'm trying this again. But yeah, that's kind of my idea when it comes to the weather. Down here in Georgia, we basically get rain, sometimes wind. And what I try to do is, I watch the weather forecast. If it's going to rain starting midnight tonight, I don't toss, today. If it's not going to rain for 2 days, I try my best just when I'm tossing them in the driveway to maybe not hit a pothole where the water might collect. But I'm going to show you how I prep my book so that it's very waterproof. I don't know if it would withstand sitting in a major puddle, but it'll be waterproof enough that, in the event of a drizzle or rain. Now, another thing that I suggest is to do it on garbage day. People walk their driveway to bring their garbage pail in, so they are more likely to see your book rather than when they're on their way home exhausted and they run right over it, to their driveway. And another thing that another hint too. Now I'm going to show you how I wrap my books. But one of the things that I noticed is, excuse me. Sorry about that. This is one of my completed books, and I'm going to show you how I got there in a minute. And like I said, I stole a lot of this from Molly, so the credit goes to her. But you see hanging out the back of my book is, need money, got bills, Avon can help. Well, think about it now. Somebody is walking to their mailbox, and they take out the mail, and we've all been there. So we stand there and we kind of go through the mail, and then we're like, oh God, I don't even want to open that bill. Oh, that's the heating bill. Oh, I don't even want to open it. Oh, that's my bills from Christmas shopping. I don't want to open it. We've all been there where we pull something out of our mailbox and don't want to open it because there's some humongous bill that we know is coming, but we don't want to see it. What better time to look down on the ground and to not only see an Avon book, but to see an Avon book and it says, got bills, need extra money? Ta-da! Like perfect timing when you're feeling down in the dumps over that bill and yeah, I could use some extra money. So, it's just another thought, and I'm going to show you how I prepped that book so that little bit is sticking out so people can see it. So those are kind of, I guess, really my basic ideas. Now, I know down here in the South we have a lot of dirt roads, and we have a lot of roads that are too bumpy to go down or might not be the safest area to go down. And I know every neighborhood has it. It's not just here. But I always say safety first. I can't stress it enough. If you're concerned, bring another person with you. But don't go down a road that you don't think is safe. You come first. Your safety comes first. It's not worth it. If you're scared and have that pit in your stomach, follow that pit in your stomach and stay safe. But what I do to get around that sometimes is a lot of times these dirt roads, the postmen don't even want to go down. And so all their mailboxes are gathered on the road you're driving on. So if I see something like that and there's 5 mailboxes together and I don't want to go down that road to toss them in the driveway, I drop 5 books right by the mailboxes. And I can't tell you how many customers I've had call me and say, hey, I was, there were a bunch of mailboxes that I'm a part of and I saw your book on the ground and that's how I got your ground. And I have a fantastic customer and that's how she found me. So it all works, whether you drop them there or I try very hard though, like when there's church driveways and sometimes you can't differentiate. I try not to leave anything, in a church driveway type thing or in a business driveway. I don't do that. I strictly stick to residential. And like I said, I do open my window, the passenger window, and toss it like a Frisbee out. And if it misses, it misses. I usually get a rhythm down and I drive slowly and toss it is how I do it. On the other side, I will turn around and do the other side. For me to try to go this side, this side, this side, this side, there is no way I can do that. My arthritis hands won't move fast enough. I can't attempt that. And honestly, because I'm a righty, if I try to throw it with my left, I really, really miss. It's pretty bad. So I rather just turn the car around and come back down the other side of the road. So that's kind of how I do it with tossing. When I have the kids with me and I get them involved, my 5-year-old, if we're on a back road, I will let her unbuckle her seatbelt. I drive up to the driveway and stop so that she can kind of plop the book out because she can't really do the Frisbee thing yet. We're working on that. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you might have seen the video of both my girls, my 2-year-old and my 5-year-old, working on their Frisbee toss with an Avon book. But this way she feels a part of. Yes, it takes extra time. So, but she loves doing it and feels a part of. And I love that feeling to feel like I'm bonding with my girls and getting them into Avon and getting them excited as much as I am. So when she's in school is when I tend to do many, many, many boxes. But I try to leave 1 or 2 boxes for her so that she feels a part of and feels happier. I use this to hit the main roads especially. We all have those roads that are really busy and there's no sidewalk and you really would love to go door to door, but it's unsafe to walk if you're pushing young kids. And even if you're not, it's a bit unsafe. People are doing 55 miles an hour, no sidewalk. You could pull into everybody's driveway, but then you got to pull in, pull out, pull in, pull out, wait for traffic, and it becomes a lot. So those are the houses that I try to hit the most, because if I go at an off time and there's not a ton of traffic, I can kind of, go slowly. And if I see a bunch of cars coming from behind me, I will pull over, put on my flashers, wave, for people to go around me, and I will wait for them to pass and keep going. That's what I do. Again, though, that's on an off time. I don't attempt to do that like during rush hour because it probably won't be good. So again, safety first. So now let me explain to you what I have to make my book look like this. First of all, I will gladly email this to you if you're in my downline and not in certain groups or can't get it. I have these 2 papers that I'm going to show you. I have these. I can email them to you. They are in our Skyscraper group page, and I do have them uploaded in the file section of the Onward group and the Motivation group. This is the first page that I use. This is a set of 3 bookmarks, and these are my recruiting bookmarks that I put in the books. And this is what I use also. This is called, I think, like it says Poem Redone or something. This old book poem, I think, is under. These are what I use to explain that the brochure is old, the prices are old, please call me for a current brochure, that type of thing, and it's a rhyming thing. And I have them cut apart. So what I have in front of me is the book that I want to toss. I have the bookmarks that I cut apart, the 3 bookmarks ready to go. I have a pile of the poems ready to go. And I have bags. These are the bags you get from youravon.com. They're under your business tools. These are the door hanger or literature bags, I think they're called. They come like this, and they're a quantity of 50 for 89 cents. If you don't know how to order them, speak with your upline or district manager to help you, to show you that. But many of us are very, very familiar with these. They come in handy for a lot of things, and they're very inexpensive, so that's excellent. And with all the books I have to toss, I order about like 10 packages a campaign so that I have plenty to toss with. Now, one thing I want to stress, whether you're tossing or this has even nothing to do with tossing, when you get your books, whether you have a stamp, a label, you handwrite it, put your information on the back of your book right away. When you get your case of books or however many books you order, when they show up on your doorstep, open them, spend some time, get your information on the back. The worst thing in the world is to put your books out without your information, because they're going to want to order it and it isn't going to be from you, and you don't want to miss out on that, right? I can't tell you how many people I have had who have said to me, I've had an order for weeks, but the Avon book had no information and I didn't know how to order it. Can I order it with you? And I'm more than happy to take those orders, but that is an order. Now, while I picked up a great customer and I'm thrilled, but somebody did lose a customer all because they didn't put their info. And you know what? You never know when you need to grab books and you're in a rush and you're late for work, but you need your books. And so you end up leaving them home because they're not filled out and you have no books with you. And that's no. Oh, I tell all my girls always, have at least one book in your pocketbook. I keep a case in the car, but however many, always have a book with you. You never know when that opportunity is going to come. So you got to have a book with you. So, and I know with me and 2 kids, I always end up flying out if you're in a rush late. So I know my books are stamped and ready to go. So I can just grab what I need or grab the case and just run to the car. Because one day I went out without a case of books and I was just doing a few errands and said it would be no big deal. Man, I wanted to cry because I had so many potential places and people that I spoke with that I could have handed a book and didn't have a book. I swore to myself, never again. So always make sure to get that info on the back of the book. That's my little sidebar. Okay, so now I have all this stuff in front of me. Now what I do is I open the book to any page, and I'm going to tell you I have too many books to worry about what page I'm opening it up to. I know some people want to put it in a skincare page. And that's fine if that works for you. I have too many. I need to go boom, boom, boom. So I take one of my bookmarks and I put it inside the book. Now, I'm sure if you've tried this or used any of these before, you notice that the bookmark is a little bit longer than the Avon books are. So the worst thing, and this is just my own little fetish, I can't stand crinkled papers and wrinkled books, and I can't even when I was in school and in college, I couldn't stand having like crinkled paper in my notebook. I would rewrite half my notes just to get rid of it. It's just my own fetish. But so if you were to fold this or shove this into the book, this is going to get all wrinkled and yucky and icky. So what I do is, on purpose, I pull a fair amount out and I fold it over to get it ready for the book. And now what I have folded over is this part that says too many bills, need extra money. So this way it's not cut off, and now, like I showed you at the beginning, now it's sticking out. So when people are crying over the bills in the mailbox and going, oh my God, now they see this whole thing. Had I not done that and left it in to smush up, what would they have seen? Nothing really, right? And that would have been lost. And that could be the thing that makes them open your book. Maybe they only become a customer, but I really truly think that if we can get them to just at least get in the book, that once they see all the amazing and incredible things Avon has to offer, and that we're not just lipstick, I think you have your customer. So whatever we can do to get them to open that book is a plus in my book. So hopefully they see it, at least makes them curious, if nothing else. Okay, so now I got my bookmark in, I got it in my book. So now I'm going to take my bag. Now usually I have these hanging and I plop them and I go faster. But to show you now, let me point out something. One side of these bags have writing on the bottom and the other side doesn't. I try my best to get the book in so that the front is plain and the writing goes on the back. Doesn't always happen. Again, I keep going and I just move on. I don't stress over it, but I try my best to get the writing on the back. Now here's the trick. You need to take your book now and fold it in half just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit to get it down that way. This is where I had all the trouble that I couldn't get in the bag, because I was going this way for some reason and it just wasn't going in the bag. Yeah, you do the math and then you can go ahead and laugh at me later. Thank you. But so you just kind of smush it just a little tiny bit, and then you have the room. I want to make sure I'm putting the writing on the back myself. But then you have the room. Of course, it usually doesn't. Of course, because I'm on this, it's going to hassle me. Oh boy. Doesn't it figure this only happens when you're trying to show somebody something? The whole point is that it slides right in and it's not sliding right in. Let's try this again. Okay, there you go. You just got to get your rhythm down. And then I take it and I just plop it down and open it up, and then it's flat again. So now I have this in and I have the writing on the back. So, and usually you just bend it that little bit and just it'll start to just slide from here. It'll slide right down your bag. Excuse me a second. Okay, excuse me for that. Okay, again, one more time I'm going to show you. You take the book and you kind of squeeze it, bend it just a little bit. You pull this open, and then you very easily, just see, and it just drops right in. See, now it works. I had to redo it to prove it works. To prove after days of practice, I finally got it. Anyway, so this is what you're left with. Now, what I do is I take my little poem about the old brochure, and then I'm going to drop it in the front, like so. Where it lands, I can take the time to worry about where it lands or how it looks. I just make sure that it doesn't cover the words Avon on the brochure. And then this is what you have now. Now, I turn it around. Now, keep in mind, I usually do this laying flat, so I might look a little funny I'm trying to do it so that you can see. I take this, I fold it once, I fold it twice, so that it's there. Now, you kind of stick your finger in to grab yourself like a little page, and then in it goes. Now, make sure you get all your corners in and all your back in. This is a trick so that it stays flat and not bunched up. And if I need more room, I push on this to give myself more room to work in here. If there's not enough room when you pull your hand out, the bag is going to come out with you. That means you need to make more room this way. So, like I said, I figured out a way to conquer all the problems. Because, right, that's what we got to do is move forward, be positive, and conquer our problems, right? So, I stuff it into all my corners, and that's it. Ta-da! There it is. You have your waterproof book. I have my, this is an old Avon brochure up front. I have this hanging out in the back. I have my info front and center. And there you go. And now I take it and I toss it like a Frisbee out my door, and hopefully it lands in somebody's driveway and it lands in the right place. Excuse me again. Okay. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of interference from the little ones. But that's basically how I get the brochure ready to toss, and then I go on to the next one. So it's really that simple. Again, I am far from an expert. I'm still learning every day. And I always try to make sure I learn something new every day, because this is a business where all I can do is keep learning. I hope I covered everything with all the questions that I was getting and stuff in my downline. Again, I really love the one-on-one contact, but obviously, I know many of you don't know me, but those who do will tell you I could talk to a toothbrush for 6 hours and try to recruit my toothbrush. Everybody I talk to is a potential recruit, a potential customer. Everybody on my Facebook, everywhere I go, I look at everybody and think, what could this person use? What could that person use? What might interest them? It drives my husband nuts. But that's just what I do. It's just in me. It comes second nature. I know things can be scary. They can be nerve-wracking, and that's normal if it doesn't come easy to you. Ask your upline, ask your district manager, ask a friend, or, even somebody who's not in Avon. Maybe ask them to just come with you to, sit in the car with you if you're a little nervous or concerned, But I always say try to confront your fears, because when you speak to the people and, confront them and smile, and they let their guard down. They know, that you mean well, and while they may never place an order, they may order 6 months from now, they may order 6 weeks, 6 days. They may call you when you're on your way home. I've had that all happen to me. But don't give up. Don't let your guard down. Those perfect customers are there. And if you think about it, when you drive down all your roads, I sit there and think, oh my God, I need to toss here. I need to toss there. And I might have 1,500 books to toss. But that's 1,500 houses I could hit. So that's 1,500 potential customers right there. So to me, it is fantastic. So with that, I'm going to sign out. I hope everybody has a fabulous day and stay warm. Hopefully spring will be soon, according to the groundhog. And whatever you do, stay positive, always smile, and always have the best day you possibly can. And, remember, Avon, if you get out there, the more that you get out there, the more results you will get coming in. So I hope I covered everything, and I hope everybody stays beautiful, stay wonderful, and stay awesome. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.